Official Mike said in the chat, he's not Putin evil but as evil as the playground bully.
He's close. Same ideology, more or less.
DJLL reacts. Said in the chat, JOJ.
Without the ideology of Putin, without the ideology of Hitler, you don't have the ideology of Putin, you don't have the ideology of Trudeau. Like, authoritarianism is, you know, it doesn't really matter who you're you know, oppressing. Oppression is always bad. So I mean, there are some strains of thought that will say, hey, yo, some oppression is okay. Those people are wrong, and those are and that's how you got the Nazis in the first place. So I mean,
DJLL reacts.
Now it can be hard when the people who are saying, yo, oppression is good are trying to oppress people who are bad. Now, people being bad doesn't mean that you get to oppress them. It just means that they're bad. But people out here trying to be too extra, especially in the age of cancel culture, where, you know, if you're not like going Super Saiyan on the people who are bad or racist or sexist or whatever, then that you've got to be a bad guy.
15 minutes remaining.
Like, so it's also kind of ridiculous. You have people kind of going sicko mode for no reason, trying to prove that they're not as bad as the bad guys. I mean, I think it's a lot better to have a policy where you have to prove that you're bad. Don't prove to me that you're good. You know, you got people out here thinking all white people are racist. Like, what?
Official Mike said in the chat, our premier is insane. Our premier believes anti-vaxxers need to be part of the protected rights group.
Well, they should be. Ain't nobody else gonna protect them.
Official Mike said in the chat, we've tried and people still voted for him.
Wait, hold on, what? Yeah, it's wild. But the thing is, like I said, it's really easy to lure citizens into an oppressive political hierarchy if you're arguing to oppress people who are unpopular or bad. So for example, look at what's going on in America, right? We've got something pretty similar with the whole MAGA crowd. You know, now granted, you know, the storming of the Capitol is something that needs to be punished, but you have a lot of people who are getting disproportionate punishments for what they did. I think it's not exactly persecution, but it borders on it. Not necessarily because they're getting sentenced, because, hey, they probably should be sentenced, but it's mostly the fact that the sentences are so ridiculously harsh, especially when compared to Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters who have done a lot worse. It's pretty obvious that pretty much all the convictions are politically motivated, which is actually a little bit more worrying, because in general, we should be prosecuting all violence, and we're not for some reason. Like, we're just like letting some slide and only prosecuting it if it hurts, if like doing so is like a good thing for the Democrat Party, which in itself is like really whack.
Reinforcements.
The premier said, in modern history, nobody has been discriminated more. Our premier said, in modern history, nobody has been discriminated more than anti-vaxxers, which is funny. It depends on what you mean by. It depends on what you mean by modern history. I would argue that that's definitely not true. I think white people have been discriminated against more than anti-vaxxers if you look at affirmative action. Granted, I'm not in the anti-vax community, so I don't really know all the ways that society's kind of going against them. I do think that there's some forms where it's like, you could argue that it might be, you might be able to argue that it's discrimination, but I don't know. It's pretty a low grade of discrimination compared to discrimination of other groups. Like, if you're going to tackle discrimination, I don't think that the discrimination of anti-vaxxers should be the first thing on your agenda.
Got their ideals from V for Vendetta.
Yeah, I mean honestly, the modern Democrat Party, they're mimicking like like Stalin and Hitler and those folks. So it shouldn't be surprising that they're enacting
DJ
oppressive regimes wherever they go.
said in the chat,